Hey everyone, this is Julie B from Be Smart Social Media. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Now, I think we've all heard the good, fast, or cheap paradigm, or decision making, I guess you could say, triangle. And especially if you're in the marketing field, you hear that all the time. And if you've ever been sold marketing services, which you probably have been, you've probably heard it as well. Well, the good, fast, cheap paradigm basically means that you can have two of those three. So you can't have all three. You can't have it good, fast, and cheap. You've got to pick two of the three. And I often have to walk potential clients through that to kind of get them to where I can know where they are in terms of expectations. But I also use this in my own decision making. The first thing I will ask myself when I'm making decisions is, what outcomes do I want here? What would make this a good project? And so that's the good part of it. The second thing I will usually ask is, okay, well, in what timeline do I want those outcomes to happen? How long will I give myself or my team to get to those outcomes? So that usually covers the fast part of that good, fast, and cheap paradigm. And then the third thing I will ask myself is, how much would I be willing to pay to get those outcomes in that timeline? And that gives me the budget or the cheap part of that timeline. And usually it's not cheap. So, but that's where that aligns. And once I have all three of those things, I then can kind of start to see where I am in terms of expectation and start to determine like which one am I willing to sacrifice. And I will say that I am normally, almost always, I'm going to want the outcomes to be good. So really, I'm down to two choices. Do I want it fast and expensive, or do I want it on a slower timeline, but something that may be less expensive and a little bit more affordable for my small business? And that's kind of how I walk through making decisions when it comes to when I get to that point in the decision-making process. And it's not really so much about making decisions, I guess. It's more about setting expectations. Now, I will say there was one time where I'm usually okay with sacrificing good outcomes to get it fast and cheap. And that is when I'm testing something. That's when I'm just trying to gather information. Maybe a web page that I put out there, it might have a couple of typos on it. Listen, I know how that looks, but if I'm just trying to get some information quickly, I'm okay sacrificing good a little bit to get it fast and cheap. So that's probably the only time that I would sacrifice that outcome. Now, you may be asking why I'm sharing this with you. Well, first and foremost, this can help you in your own decision making. This can help you, decide which way to go with certain things and set your own expectations. But the other thing is if you ever have to have this conversation, whether it's with a potential client or customer, or maybe it's even somebody that has already purchased something from you, but you have to kind of reset their expectations about what, maybe they've purchased something from you online and shipping speed is slower than they might experience on Amazon, for example. You say that up front, but, sometimes people forget that. So you have to say it again. And that can help you kind of have that conversation with that potential individual and situation as well. So listen, I hope this helped you. We're all in business. We're all in this together. We're all small businesses just trying to figure this out. And I just always think that if I can help one person make better decisions or make, create better strategies that work for their company, then we'll all be moving ahead together. So thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions, reach out. I'm happy to discuss this with you and help you figure out how to kind of walk through this paradigm with your own decisions.